You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowing like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look up the better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the 10th part of What If Naruto Meets Flash. Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of pyrohelixdrago on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. 10 minutes later in Star City. I can't believe you brought someone back from the dead, Naruto said to Laurel as this was asinine. The dead need to stay dead, he said to them all, but what's done is done, we need to fix her, he said as he knew Sarah was in there somewhere. Bloody hell, that was wicked. Constantine said as he was still getting over the shock of running that fast. Like the new setup, but you need copper wiring for the link to the Palmer satellite, otherwise something's gonna overload. Naruto said as copper wiring was the best conductive wiring that could handle all the power going in and out of the systems. Could have known that a couple days ago. Oliver said as he was standing too close to one of said wires and it blew, setting him slightly on fire. Okay, with Thea here, Sarah should be close by. Naruto said as Sarah wouldn't stop until she got to Thea. We know she's been killing women that look like Thea for the past 3 days. Oliver said to him. And you call me now wow dude f wow, Naruto said to him. Don't forget Nissa trained her dude. Roy said to him. And she brought her back to life, Naruto said looking at Laurel. Just saying, Nissa is skilled and so is Sarah. Roy said as he fought with both and knew they were skilled. I know, now knowing Sarah will come, we need to get here somewhere, where innocent people won't get caught in the crossfire. Just her and us. Naruto said as that was why he picked the newest Arrow Cave to be that place. How the bloody hell do you expect her to get in? Constantine asked him curiously. Through the elevator or the vent, Naruto said pointing up. You want her in here with us? Felicity asked a little concerned. Best place for it, Naruto said as it saved them time. And the same place where our systems and stuff are. Felicity said as she didn't want her tech destroyed. Don't worry, I'll use my chains, nothing can break out of them. Naruto said to her as he made golden chains appear. No offense, mate, but your mothers are scarier. Constantine said as he was sure Kushina could add spikes to hers. Whatever, just get ready. Naruto said. I need ingredients for the spell, thankfully I made a list. Constantine said handing it to Felicity, who then handed it to Naruto, who left and returned in under a minute. Right, super speed, he said with a chuckle. Why did you need a dead peacock feather? Naruto asked him curiously. For this. Constantine said as he used it as a back scratcher. Is he seriously the only option we have? Laurel asked Naruto and Oliver, who both nodded. He knows more about the dark arts than most. Don't ask me why he started, just don't. Naruto said to her firmly as Constantine's past was a hard and tragic one. Few hours later. I honestly expected this to be much more difficult, Oliver said as they had Sarah tied down in golden chains. The Uzumaki clan's magic is stronger than most mystics and immortals, mate, they have stuff you would not believe. Constantine said as he knew about them from books he read on magic users and when Kushina told him when they first met. Stronger than Dark's? Felicity asked in hope. Mom's too busy to help, sorry. Naruto said as Dark had a few centuries on him and his mom had her hands filled trying to deal with this Lord of Chaos. Few hours later. I came as soon as I received word. Nissa said as she saw Sarah alive and stable. She's taken the cure, she asked Naruto, who nodded. Tasted like SHT. Sarah said with a light chuckle. All medicine does, Naruto said with a grin. Sarah? Thea said, walking in tears on her face. Hey Speedy, Sarah said giving her a hug. I know, she said as she knew what happened. Still can't believe he beat Roz and you became the head of the league, she said to Nissa. Yes, then gave it to me and I started my own league which serves a much more proper purpose, one I know you'll enjoy, Nissa said with a grin. I'd like that, Sarah said as she felt lost. Hey, now we have 2 canaries. Naruto said with a laugh. Yes but darling, focus on this one, Nissa said as she strppd Sarah. Can see why Oliver cheated on Laurel with you. Naruto said seeing her low E-cup melons, athletic body and round peach. And me, Nissa said spanking Sarah's peach, you will work very hard to earn my forgiveness back, she said as she was still angry Sarah chose Oliver over her. This is going to be fun. Naruto said as he vibrated and caused his clothes to fall off of him. I swear I wish I could do that, Thea said taking off her clothing. We all do. Nissa said as she was now naked and had Sarah eating her out. Guess we'll be having our own fun. Thea said looking at Naruto's irked member and immediate got on her knees and began to blow him. I can never get over how amazing he tastes, she thought as she could never get enough of how his pee-pee tasted. Yeah, lots of fun. Naruto said as he put his hands on her head. Look Sarah, Nissa said as she positioned Sarah's head to see Thea blowing Naruto, that is going inside you and it'll destroy you, she said to her former lover. Sarah was in shock by how large Naruto was and became wet just by looking at it. Thea in pleasure as Naruto began face her loving the pain she was receiving making her even hornier. I love seeing you on your knees looking up at me as my pee-pee goes down your throat, I love seeing it with all the girls. Naruto said as maintaining eye contact increased the intimacy between both of them making the SEC that much more enjoyable. Thea as Naruto's thrusts got rougher and faster. You're going to be his Sarah, that is the truth, you'll be his forever, Nissa said whispering into Sarah's ear with a low lustful tone. Thea in bliss as Naruto began leaking down her throat before pulling out and covering her face and tips in his juice. You're next, Nissa said as she brought Sarah over to Naruto leaving her with him while she went over to Thea and began cleaning her eating Naruto's juice off her. You're big. Sarah said both turned on by how massive his pee-pee is and a little intimidated by it. And so are these, Naruto said grpng her melons making her whine in pleasure as he began pinching her tips. Naruto began making out with her as he put one of his hands down and put 2 of his fingers inside of her pee-pee. Sarah thought as Naruto immediately found her G-spot and he was rubbing it skillfully and pleasurably. Naruto used his thumb and began rubbing her CLT. Sarah immediately climaxed soaking the bed they were on. I'm outclassed, she thought knowing she was the best at Stuckton and SEC but Naruto outclassed her easy. Sarah panted in pleasure trying to catch her breath before getting caught off guard as Naruto's pee-pee poked the entrance to her pee-pee. How bad do you want it? Naruto asked her kissing her neck. Sarah began whining in pleasure wanting to feel his pee-pee inside of her. I need it, your canary needs it, she said beggingly. I don't believe you. Naruto said teasingly rubbing and poking his pee-pee against her pee-pee wanting to hear her beg even more. Please, need it inside of me. Paint this canary white with your juice. Sarah said wanting his juices inside. Her desperately wanting his monster pee-pee to ruin her and finally tame her. Sarah felt the air get knocked out of her as Naruto shoved himself inside of her pee-pee. DMN she's tight, Naruto thought as Sarah felt as tight as a virgin. Break her beloved, Nissa said as she had Thea ate her out. Naruto began pounding into Sarah intent on doing what Nissa wanted him to do to her. He's ruining my pee-pee, Sarah thought knowing after this only his pee-pee would be able to please her. Naruto began grpng her melons as he kissed Sarah's neck making her loudly in pleasure-filled joy. Nissa became wetter hearing Sarah scream as it brought her extreme pleasure that her husband made her scream like that. Sarah screamed in bliss as her tongue hung from her mouth and her eyes rolled up as she felt Naruto inside of her WMB, he really will paint my insides she thought becoming even wetter than before. How does my pee-pee feel Sarah? Naruto asked before pinching her tips roughly. It feels amazing. Sarah said as she screamed loudly from the pleasure and began to drool. How much better am I than Oliver? Naruto asked her. So much more in every way. Sarah said in a scream. DMN right, he is. Nissa thought as Naruto had Oliver beat in every way. Sarah screamed in bliss as Naruto began flooding her WMB with his juice, making her CLMX very hard. Yes, Nissa said as she approached Sarah's juices fill PP and began eating away at it. Sarah was surprised when Naruto saddled on top of her, sandwiching his PP between her tips. You're going to clean my PP as if these tips of yours, he said to her dominantly. Yes, Sarah said obediently as she began eating his PP and tried squeezing his PP as hard as she could with her tips. Her PP with you leak inside of it, tastes delicious beloved. Nissa said as she continued to eat out Sarah as she was still filled with juices. I'm sure it does, my angel of the shadows. Naruto said as he could hear Nissa MMM from the nickname he gave her. Sarah MMM in bliss, tasting herself on Naruto's PP, making her pick up the pace and put more work into eating his PP. I can feel her PP quiver, beloved, this naughty bird is going to leak, Nissa said to him. Then this should open the gates. Naruto said as he began leaking all over Sarah's face and melons, painting them white. Sarah screamed in bliss as she climaxed all over Nissa's face. Naughty girl, I didn't say you can leak, Naruto said, pinching her tips roughly. Finally found someone who can make me tired. Sarah said tiredly. Oh, Nissa said, feeling insulted. You could in an hour, he did it in like 35 minutes. Sarah said to her. Let us see what he and I can do to you, Nissa said, getting Sarah on all fours, spreading her peach apart. Destroy her mind, beloved, make this salty little bird leak, she said with a truly lustful grin. Sarah's eyes widened as she felt Naruto poking her peach. Don't forget about me. Thea said, pulling Nissa to her, wanting to have some more fun. I haven't, Nissa said as she fingered Thea's needy PP before the two began making out. Hey, Ivy never had dash, Sarah was saying before Naruto put the tip of his PP inside of her peach. You will now. Naruto said as he began pushing himself inside her. Be prepared, Sarah, your holes will be stretched out, Thea said as she as Nissa played with her body. Sarah screamed in pain and pleasure as Naruto began slamming into her peach ruthlessly. My peach is gonna be a gaping hole, she thought, knowing she was gonna be sore and pleased. Naruto looked down with a smirk, seeing Sarah's rapidly rippling body before her arms gave out, making her face going into the bed, screaming in pleasure-filled bliss and joy. You'll get your turn, Thea, Nissa said, knowing Thea was eagerly awaiting her turn. Sarah saw stars and felt her mind turn into mush as Naruto erupted inside of her lower, filling it with his juices. I think I broke her. Naruto said. Good, Nissa said as she went over to Sarah. How can I please you? Thea asked as Naruto had done so much for her and Sarah, she wanted to repay him any way possible. By letting me paint your insides white. Naruto said to her simply. Then do it. Thea said as she was very hot for him. Naruto lifted her up by her thighs and dropped her onto his PP, making her loudly in bliss as she wrapped her legs around him. Thea immediately climaxed from the sudden action, loving the pain and pleasure it brought her. Naruto looked as Thea began to lose herself to the bliss she was feeling as he began pounding into her as if she was a sex toy made just for pleasuring himself. Beloved, you seem to be going rougher than usual. Nissa said, almost sounding jealous. I have a lot of stress, and I need this to relieve myself. So this time you all are just F toys for me today. Naruto said as they all got wet from that very thought. Thea screamed as Naruto began vibrating in speed F both of her holes. F, he's gonna break me, she thought, getting corny from the thought. Nissa watched, getting soaked as Naruto slammed into Thea like a beast in heat, desperately trying to relieve itself. We're all gonna be destroyed by his lust. Thea screamed in bliss as her eyes rolled up and her tongue hung out as she limply hung in Naruto's arms, twitching in pleasure as he flooded both of her holes with his juices. Nissa looked at Naruto, her PP dripping and quivering, not knowing what to expect from Naruto as he had placed Thea down and approached her. Naruto began vibrating as he stood in front of her. I am going to destroy you, he said, fully intending on doing just that. Do it, beloved, do to me what you did to Thea. Use my body to relieve all of your stress and tension. Nissa said, desperate to please him and wanted him to use her body however he needed. That is what I intend to do, Naruto said. Early the next day, Nissa tiredly as Naruto finished inside of her peach, as his juices is all over her body and oozing out of her pee. He's still corny, she thought, thinking if he continued on with them he may have actually killed them. Naruto soon got a call and a text, both from separate women. The text was a picture of Patty in a lingerie and the call was Kendra saying she was very corny. Naruto didn't need further motivation as he brought the 3 assassin women to a different room for rest and soon brought Kendra and Patty to the room. Whoa, I am very stressed out and just about done and I need some more relief, Kendra was saying till Naruto interrupted her. Say no more, Patty said as she strppd down. Oh baby, does it hurt, Kendra said as she strppd and kissed his member and soon got a flash of an image of a man. God, this one is so, she thought, unable to find the words to describe the man she saw. I have 3 assassins since 8 last night until now, what do you think? Naruto said. Wow, I knew this whole Zoom thing had you stressed, didn't think it was that much, Patty said as she was happy and eager to help him relieve his stress. Yeah, so I'm going to show you 2 the same things I did to those 3 last night, Naruto said. Well, if this helps you beat Zoom, then I say let's get started, Patty said as she joined Kendra kissing his pee. Baby, you're so hard, Kendra said in amazement. Naruto grabbed her by her head. I'm sorry cause I'm about to be really rough, but in order to do this I need to just do it. So for now you 2 are nothing more than my F toys right now, he said as he began face F Kendra. I don't think we'll have a problem, baby, Patty said with a grin. Kendra was enjoying Naruto's pee but she kept on getting flashes of the guy and it was killing it for her and she wanted to only think of Naruto, but soon began to find it hot as she was seeing flashes of her and the man and she couldn't help herself but revel in the thought of being a cheating girlfriend with a much superior man. Naruto leaked down her throat before pulling out and spraying his juices all over her face and tips. And I thought the things I made were tasty, Kendra said, gobbling up his juices. You should try it in a coffee, Patty said as Thea gave her some recently after she milked Naruto's pee. Naruto forced Kendra onto her hands and knees. Word of warning, I am going to destroy you both, he said as he began vibrating. Who cares, we want that, Kendra said in excitement and lust as more flashes came, making this hotter for her. Naruto slammed into her pee before speeding into her peach and began pounding both holes into oblivion as he made his hands vibrate and groped her melons. Kendra could only scream in lust and pleasure as Naruto brought her to new levels of pleasure. Naruto was going so fast you couldn't even see him pull out and go into the other hole, it was like he was F both holes at the same time. I swear maybe this is how I should have handled his stress earlier, Patty thought, regretting her past decision. Kendra's mind was mush as Naruto destroyed her insides before seeing stars as he leaked inside of both of her holes, filling both her WMB and lower with his juices. As she fell onto the bed, Naruto began covering her body in his juice. I'm his, she thought in joy, until she had another flash, this time seeing her in Egyptian-style clothing that made her look hot. Hello Kendra, I am Priestess Chayera, your past life, the first of many past lives, Chayera said to her. I remember, Kendra said as she got more and more flashes, but I don't give a rat's but about the other guy, she said with a smirk. Kufu, Chayera said with a smirk. Just because we're immortal doesn't mean he is my soul mate. I swear from what I've seen you settled too quickly and my other past lives were idiots, Kendra said to her. True, Kufu wasn't the best in the bed, in any life, and he was a JRK a lot of times, Chayera said. Clearly you haven't had the guy who just pounded the hell out of me, Kendra said to her. Yes indeed, now let me inform you of something Kendra. You remember Savage Naruto's power has been shielding you from Kufu and Savage as we can detect one another, Chayera said to her. Then I'll thank him properly for that, but I look good as an Egyptian, Kendra said, checking herself out, making Chayera laugh. As do I as a barista, Chihara said, also checking herself out. Something tells me you didn't just leak to just give me a heads up. Kendra said, thinking there was more to this. All of our past lives and yet not one has ever been fooled, Chihara said with a laugh. We need to merge in order for you to remember everything because I truly believe this is the time where you are most ready, she said to Kendra. Something tells me this is new. Kendra said as she read her tone. Yes, never before have I merged directly with one of my reincarnations to give them the memories of all of us. Chihara said as she was referring to all her past lives. Okay, how do we do this? Kendra asked curiously. I think you'll enjoy this. Chihara said as she pulled Kendra into a kiss, and soon Kendra was flooded with memories. That was awesome, in more ways than one. Kendra said as she felt every part of her body tingle. Now go. Return to your present life and have fun. Chihara said to her with a perverse smile. Kendra groaned as she opened her eyes and saw Patty being limp as Naruto was holding her close as he pounded into both of her holes while vibrating his body. Patty screamed as she cried tears of joy as her eyes rolled up and her tongue hung out and was drooling. Naruto soon leaked inside of her holes, turning her mind into nothing as he dropped her onto the bed and covered her in his juices like he did to Kendra. I feel better, I really needed that. Naruto said, now satisfied after relieving himself of months of stress and tension. Sorry Naruto, you and I aren't done, Kendra said to him lustfully. Wow, I thought you were down, Naruto said as Kendra came up to him. Down, but not out. Kendra said, licking her lips hungrily, seeing Patty as juice oozed out of her PP. Naruto smirked, and for the next good part of the day their room was filled with and screams. Few days later. Ray is alive. How? The whole top of Palmer Tech blew up, with him in it. Naruto asked Felicity as she called him in when she got the message. We all did, but look. Felicity said, showing him the code. What trace substances were found at the explosion? Naruto asked as he was curious, as the report stated Ray's body was atomized. Felicity brought up the police report and Naruto did a scan of the substances. Dumbass shrunk himself, Naruto said as if he was reading this right. Can you help me decode a message that Ray left? It stops at a certain point. Felicity asked. Probably because as he shrunk the message can't be heard that good. You are lucky. Naruto said, impressed she got this far. Why? Felicity asked, wondering how she was lucky. When Ray came for some tech help and some upgrades last time, I installed a tracking software into his suit. Naruto said as he wanted to be safe than sorry. Meaning you can find him? Felicity asked. Find him, yes, but getting him back to his normal size is a different matter altogether. Naruto said as he was glad he studied up on the science beforehand. Let's focus on finding him before anything. Felicity said as she wanted Ray to be safe. Alright. Naruto said as he began typing on a computer. OSHT, he said. What, where is he? Felicity asked. Damien Dark's office, aka Hive HQ. Naruto said as it was a secretive organization. Get Oliver, he said as he needed backup for this, as if Dark ran Hive he wasn't gonna play by normal rules. Why did it have to be the Latin building? Felicity said as before Star City went to CRP, it was touted as one of the most secure buildings in the West Coast. Yeah, every access point is protected by a retinal scanner, and a voice print. Among other things, besides dealing with Dark, this won't be easy. Naruto said as this was going to be one hell of a challenge. Few hours later. How screwed are we? Dig asked Oliver. Very, if we're caught. Oliver said to him before the two got knocked out by a Hive soldier. Few minutes later. Wake up, the Hive soldier said as he slapped Oliver and Dig awake. Don't pull that SHT, idiots, it's me, he said to them. We know the plan, genius. You get us in, shutting up. Oliver said to him as he heard footsteps. OSHT, that's Naruto. Roy asked curiously as Naruto got him to before shutting up as Dark arrived with their equipment. Impressive work, my friend, did you really think you could just walk in here? Damien said as he just then arrived. Well, maybe if we asked you nicely. Roy said with a chuckle. Ha, ha, funny. Damien said, leave us, he said to Naruto disguised as one of his soldiers. Thank God sensory isn't a universal skill, Naruto thought as he left the room and entered the elevator. Packages are delivered. You all ready? He asked over his comm, taking his soldier stuff off. God, do these people not wash these? He said to himself in disgust. We're ready. Sarah said, waiting for him to disable the security system. Meanwhile, how's Felicity? Naruto asked the Foxbot. I have Miss Smoke well in hand, sir. Minma said as Felicity was protected inside of him. I swear this'd be so cool if it weren't so scary. Felicity said as she tried to calm her. Breathing. Minma's doing all the driving, you're just here to help me finish the growing device for Ray. Naruto said as he approached a panel. Okay, disengaging security systems, now, he said before Minma burst into the room through the window. That was terrifying and awesome. Felicity said as she had a nervous laugh. Okay, Spartan, Canaries, everyone. Give those hive goons a good time while we find Ray. Naruto said with a smile, giving everyone the signal. You got it. Thea said as the group was coming up the stairs in a separate part of the building. I swear I wanna just kill this guy, Sarah said as Dark seemed like an but. Magic user, remember, this guy was a rival to Raz, so something tells me he doesn't die so easily. Naruto said as Dark was one of the few Raz let use the pit. Naruto was speeding Minma and Felicity around the building until they found the office with Ray in it. Wow, you really did shrink. He said, seeing Ray inside of a plastic cube. Oh, coming out and in that thing are two different things. Felicity said as Minma let her out and she felt slightly wobbly. Hey guys, so glad to see you, but punching through this polymer with the device isn't going to be easy. Ray said. I know, that's why I put this baby into the high levels, you might want to stand back. Naruto said, holding the resizing blaster. Miss Smoke, you need to divert some of the power from this room to his device, and then either get back inside of me or get behind me. Minma said to her. Felicity did her magic as she diverted more power into Naruto's device before getting behind the Foxbot. Naruto fired at Ray, who began growing back to his normal size. Ha, I'm not dead. Ray said happily in normal size. We need to go, we stunned Dark, but he's not gonna stay down for long. Oliver said as he, Dig and Roy came in. Good to see you again, Ray, he said to him. Hey, nice suit. Ray said, seeing a newer suit. Here you go, Naruto said, handing Ray a small action figured size version of his suit. Time to suit up ATOM, he said with a grin. You found my suit. How? Ray said, taking it. I put a tracker on it, and you, remember the nanites Felicity put into you? They came from me. Naruto said with a smirk. Ray made the suit grow and put it on. Oh, okay, you did some upgrades, didn't you? He said, noticing some key changes. Yeah, you can go building size now. I can embiggen. Awesome. Ray said, thinking that would be a cool power. Geek out later, let's go. Roy said. 30 minutes later. The worst part wasn't being small, it was that everything was so freaking big. The explosion tossed me into an abandoned construction site. The cockroaches were the size of golden retrievers, I'm not exaggerating. The entomologist inside of me was really excited, as you don't appreciate the size of the mandibles until the dash, Ray said, talking about his experience being shrunk. Dude, calm down, we don't need to start calling you Bugman, do we? Naruto asked as Ray seemingly spent a lot of time with insects. Sorry. Ray said to him. Planning on coming back from the dead? Felicity asked him curiously as she was tired of his job. Running Palmer Tech not being so easy? Ray said with a light laugh. Not one bit. Felicity said honestly, as no one took her seriously and honestly saw her as someone filling a seat. How bad is it? Ray asked her, wondering how bad the board was being. Bad enough where me and my family were honestly thinking of buying it out to save it. Naruto said, as they would have kept the name to honor Ray. Yeah, okay, let's fix that. Ray said, very serious. You do that. Meanwhile I have a dagger-wielding psycho to find back in Central City. Naruto said. Call if you need an assist, man, Oliver said as Naruto left. Few hours later. Hey Kara, just wanting to give you a call. Those 4 androids haven't gone Ultron on anyone yet, have they? Naruto asked over the phone. No, the basis of their programming is to learn, we're just making sure they're learning it right. Kara said, chuckling a little. So, first a mega earthquake dash, Naruto was saying. That was volcanoes, he accidentally caused a fault to shift during training. Kara said, as that was fun to watch until it caused the city some problems. Okay, and now I hear your aunt's back and cat's been hacked. Naruto asked, as running between sister cities is somewhat difficult, but he always got the news. Yeah, and she has something that shields her and the others from kryptonite, and we're still trying to find who's leaked all of Kat's emails. Kara said. Need any help? Naruto asked her. I will if it hits the danger zone, Kara said to him. Okay, keep me posted. So, anything interesting happen over there? Naruto asked her curiously. Not much once you consider our lives, Kara said, as crazy was their lives. And how's Hank? Naruto asked curiously. Still uptight. Kara said simply. Ah, so everything's normal, Naruto said as they chuckled. Yeah, gotta go break in at the bank, love you, bye. Kara said, hanging up. Ah, my life is insane, Naruto said, letting out a chuckle. Now to check up on things back home, he said, calling Barry. Hey, Bar, what's up? The opposite of down, Barry said with a chuckle. Smartass, so what's up? Naruto asked him. Nothing much, just laughing seeing Kendra flipping Cisco onto his back. Barry said as they were interested in what Kendra was capable of as she showed them her wings. How bad? Naruto asked, hearing Cisco loudly scream. Ah, dislocated shoulder, he said as he recognized the scream and could only imagine what their faces. Yep, and I got good news, I just hit 5,000 miles per hour today. Barry said, sounding proud. Fantastic, man, Naruto said as he hit 5,700 miles per hour with all the running he was doing. Harry says I'll probably be hitting 6,000 in 2 or 3 weeks maybe. Barry said as he knew Harry was being nice. I'd say a month or 2, but we're almost the same speed as Zoom, Naruto said as he wanted to beat Zoom. I know, Harry says it'll probably take sooner for you to get there than me, but hey, what are you gonna do? Barry asked. Like I said, man, practice, Naruto said as Barry had vastly improved but still had some lazy habits. I know, can I talk to you about something personal? Barry asked him. Yeah man, what's up? Naruto asked him curiously. It's about my dad. Barry said. What's the deal? Naruto asked as he had his ears focused on what Barry would say next. He sat down with me and talked about him dying. He said with Zoom he wanted to get everything out before Zoom attacked. Barry said as that was terrifying to hear. Oh. Man. Naruto said as that crossed some lines. He told me that he was proud of me and that I kept the hope inside of him. It really got to me. I mean, I get it, he wanted to let it all out just in case, but still. Barry said, sounding very emotional. Yeah, I know my parents had a sit down with me just like that a few months ago. Probably hit you harder than it did me. Naruto said as that was a very emotional moment for him. Yeah, I mean he was practically saying his goodbyes, and you wanna know how it hit me harder? Barry said to him. How? Naruto asked curiously. He said them as we visited my mom's grave. Barry said. And how are you? Naruto asked, concerned for how Barry was feeling. I don't know how, but for some reason after that and visiting my mom's grave, I feel lighter. Like this weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. Barry said as he had felt so much ease off of his chest, feeling so happy. That sounds weird, it sounds like you just accepted it. Naruto said as he could understand that. I'm going to lose him one day, and I know that. But for the first time in so long, I actually feel happy, and I know that's weird considering my dad said his goodbyes and I let my mom go. Barry said as it felt both weird and good. Trust me, I can understand that, Naruto said as he thought back to Jiraiya. DMN, okay, gotta go, they just did something wrong as Cisco is screaming. Barry said as Cisco was heard screaming. Sounds like they or he tried to pop his arm back into place and it went wrong. Naruto said. Okay, so either race over to help or I'll just handle it, bye. Barry said, hanging up. Cisco, you are like a brother, but God, can you be retarded? Naruto said to himself with a chuckle, racing over as he saw Harry trying to fix his arm. Allow me, he said quickly, putting his arm back into place. How has she kicked all our asses, Cisco said as half the team was on their ass and licking their wounds. Well, she has 4,000 years and 206 lives of combined experience in her, Mr. Trying to pop your own arm back into place. Harry said, giving Cisco a whack on the head. Meaning she's ready if Savage shows, Naruto said, glad she was prepared. Yeah, should we be concerned we haven't seen or found this guy yet, Hartley said as Kendra gave them a detailed sketch and they feed that to their computers, and so far nothing in the city. He's an immortal, meaning he knows how to hide. Naruto said. Yeah, but how has he not found her, Jocelyn asked them curiously. When I talked to my first incarnation, she said Naruto's powers were hiding me or dulling his connection to me. Kendra said to them. And this other guy, Harry was saying, drawing a blank on a name. Haven't seen him yet, but in his first incarnation he was called Prince Khufu. Kendra said as she wasn't looking forward to that, as in all her past life memories he seemed very blunt and straightforward, working off old logic, thinking they belonged together. Well, I say we go out and do something, we've been cooped up in here for hours. Barry said as all this training, while worth it, was very taxing. He does have a point. Caitlin said as she was tired, as was Frost. Yeah, I say we've earned a break. Go out and do whatever. Naruto said. Cool, Roderick loves the abs, but he hasn't been seeing me much later, Hartley said as he took off. I got paperwork, Carrie said as she left. I got more articles of us to do, Linda said as she took off. Been wanting to ride my bike. Bet said, taking off to the garage. We got work, Jocelyn said as she and her fellow scientists left, as they had work to do. I got patrol. Shauna said as it was her turn to go out. Me and Katana need to go to Keystone and inspect some junkyards for metal, China said to them. Working on my gun. Lisa said as she came here for repairs. And Kim's with Linda. Barry said to him. I got a few new jitters opening up, Thea said as she was opening up a few new jitters in Keystone, Starling, Gotham, Metropolis, and Coast City. And Bree is helping Harry make a siphon for Zoom speed. Naruto said as everyone was busy. Naruto, you have a few conferences and meetings, Sapphire said to him as she came in to inform him. Guess I'll see you all later. Naruto said as he had to keep this place running, as he wanted to do good in both his lives. Few days later. Hello, Naruto said, getting a call from an unknown number. Naruto, it's Ino, Ino said over the phone. Have you heard from Tsunade? She asked him curiously. No, why? Naruto said as he hadn't heard anything in a year. Because she's gone missing, Ino said as she couldn't find her. Her office is basically destroyed, she said as the walls were destroyed. I'll look into it. Naruto said to her. Please do, Ino said pleadingly. Where are you? Naruto said as he used his computer and uploaded a picture of Tsunade and did a facial recognition scan for her face. And what happened to your office? He said as he looked into a camera she had him set up there, which he had the code to access, and when he looked he saw her office was decimated, and when he looked closely he saw cracks on the window, and when he looked closer he noticed the shape of it was a handprint. Super strength, he thought in wonder as he was glad he gave her a high-tech camera and saw her handprint was pressed on the glass. He then got another call. Hello, he said, answering the phone. Did you find anything? Ino asked him. It's been 10 minutes, Naruto asked her. Yeah, and you so spill, Ino said, knowing how Naruto operated. I may have found something, but it's not concrete, Naruto said, then getting an idea. Hey Ino, where was Tsunade during the particle accelerator incident? He asked her curiously. We were on a city block. Some sewer workers had a tunnel collapse and Tsunade rushed down to help them, but she fell into a hole and was trapped for a day or so, Ino said to him. Okay, not liking this, Naruto thought to himself. Where were you? He asked, wondering if people he knew were hit. At a protest. Some assholes were trying to pave a park, Ino said to him. Okay, that's normal, Naruto thought, as that didn't seem out of the ordinary. Time to find her, he thought as he relaxed. Few hours later. OSHT this place, Naruto thought as he was outside an abandoned clinic that Tsunade had opened up years ago but closed, as this place brought up painful memories for her as she lost her brother and lover here. Naruto went inside, seeing as the door had been broken down already and saw cracks all over the floor. He ventured down the clinic's hallways a little saddened, as this place seemed like it did a lot of good. As he kept walking, he could have sworn he could hear a pig snorting and soon found a familiar woman holding a pig in her arms. Naruto, Shizune said in surprise. How is she? Naruto said as he knew Shizune was gonna try and talk him into leaving. Shizune remained quiet for a few moments. She's afraid to touch anything, she said to him. How long? Naruto asked, wondering how long they've known she was a meta. The entire time. Shizune said to him. When did she discover her powers? Naruto asked her. A few months after Christmas, a year after the particle accelerator, Shizune said to him. And what's happening to her now? Naruto asked, as this made zero sense to him, as if Tsunade knew that early on she should have been fine. We don't know, she just keeps getting stronger, Shizune said, as Tsunade was doing well but her strength kept increasing. Where is she? I think I can help. Naruto said as Shizune pointed him to a room where he saw Tsunade looking up at the ceiling blankly. Okay, strength force, come on up, time for a chat, he said as he was thinking this was a sign like with the turtle, and soon as Naruto blinked he felt like he was being crushed by an increase in gravity when suddenly he was engulfed by energy that came from below. Hello Naruto, Nagato said to him. Gravity powers, right? Naruto said as he looked at the strength force using his sibling student's face. We figured using the face of someone familiar with our gift of gravity to be better for you. Nagato said to him. But you're more than just gravity, you can do a supersonic punch just from up close, Naruto said as physical rules concerning strength varied with this force, as even though it had some similarities in some powers to the speed force, it was still different. Superhuman strength, durability, geokinesis, gravity control, invulnerability, density control, and size alteration. These are all the gifts we give our uses. Nagato said. Nothing is ever truly given, most of it is earned, Naruto said to the strength force. Yes, it is why you are a proper user for this particular force, Nagato said to him. You know what can happen as we forces may be able to bend rules and break some, but even we must follow rules, he said to Naruto. Well, I don't know about the size alteration, as the girls think I'm big enough as is. Naruto said, making a joke, but let me ask you this, why are there other users to your forces and how is it I can access you when I'm near them, he asked curiously. Ask the Sage Force, Nagato said as Naruto was right back in that room. Oh, and don't worry about your friend, she's alright now, he said to him before Naruto was sent back. Back with Tsunade. Hey, Naruto said as he lied down next to her. You sure you want to be so close? I've been destroying everything. Tsunade said simply. Yeah, I'm sure, because I know you're okay now. Naruto said as he grabbed her hand. I swear if another person is F with because of these forces, me and them will have words, he thought with a grin. I'm not breaking your hand, how? Tsunade asked, surprised. Got a minute, this will need some explaining. Naruto said. 20 minutes later. I can manipulate gravity. Tsunade asked, thinking that was cool. Among other things, yeah. As can I now. Naruto said as he was glad to have this power. And now I don't have to worry about destroying things just by touching them anymore. Tsunade asked curiously. Nope, Naruto said to her, I mean unless you want to, that is, and also keep yourself in check, he said, as the emotional state played a part in a person's manipulation of whatever force they used. Okay. Tsunade said to him. Hey, can I ask, why the F do you look like you're in your 20s? Naruto asked, a little confused as to how she was so young looking. I don't know, I woke up and I was like this. Tsunade said to him. Strength force must have brought you to your prime, Naruto said, as that was the pinnacle of strength for people. Does that force include healing powers? Shizun asked him as her hand glowed. No it does not. Naruto said to her. Well, I guess this is the power suited for a doctor. Shizun said, looking on the bright side of this. I may have just the place for you. Naruto said to her as he was intending on offering her a job. Well, if you get her, you get me. You know that. Tsunade said to him. I know, I was just about to make the same offer with you. Naruto said. And what offer would that be? Intending on getting with the two of us now that I'm around you age? Tsunade asked teasingly. Maybe I am, Naruto said with a grin as they both watched Shizun blushed from the thought, accidentally squeezing Taunton. You see Mir, Tsunade said as she grabbed Taunton and took her out of the room. Still can't believe this place is in such good condition, Naruto said as this place still looked the same as when it was closed. 1 hour later. Hello Shizun, Tsunade said with a smirk as her student in medicine blushed hard, seeing her and herself as naked as the day they were born. My lady, Shizun said nervously as she tried to cover up her low F cups, curvy body, and bubbly peach. I always loved the sound of that, Tsunade said to her as she massaged her own large I-cup melons, curvy body, and round plump peach. You have no idea how not being able to touch anyone can leave a woman so pent up, she said with a grin. What do you want me to do, my lady? Shizun asked her. That is what I love about you, you're always ready to please, Tsunade said as her grin widened. So tell me, how will you please me? She asked her curiously, wanting to hear it from her. In any way I can. Shizun said nervously. And you'll do anything I ask? Tsunade asked Shizun. Why yes my lady, Shizun said, still sounding nervous. Good, Tsunade said happily. Now lick my pee-pee, she said with a perverse grin as she laid down on the hospital bed and spread her legs. Shizun did what she was told and began eating Tsunade out. And guess what Shizun, Tsunade said as she lightly, you may treat me like your MSTRS, but after a long time I've found you a MSTR, she said as Naruto came in NDE and very irked. Shizun turned around and looked at Naruto and shivered in anticipation. You'll find this one really needs help with her stamina. Tsunade said to Naruto. I guess we'll have to train her, don't you think? Naruto said to her with a grin as she smiled back. Despite her stamina she's a real SLT Naruto, so SBMSSV willing to please me, Tsunade said as it was one of the many reasons she kept Shizun so close. Well, let's see how well she pleases me. Naruto said, rubbing his PP against Shizun's PP. I hope you're ready to be someone else's pet for a change, Tsunade said to Shizun. Naruto thrusted into Shizun's PP, causing her to loudly in pleasure. Oh, look at her face, Tsunade said as Shizun was screaming in lust and pleasure. Naruto lifted Shizun by her thighs and held her as her back was against his chest with his head on her shoulder, letting him look at the pleasure on her face. Tell me your name for him Shizun, Tsunade asked FNDLNG one of her melons and fingered herself. Master. Shizun said as she in pleasure. That's right, Tsunade said as she put the fingers that were in her PP into Shizun's mouth. Shizun tasted Tsunade's juices before making a muffled scream in pure bliss as Naruto shoved himself into her WMB and began pounding her rougher. Make her a leak SLT Naruto, she loves to lick up my juices, I'm sure her hungry holes want to be hosed down in your seed, Tsunade said as Shizun always lapped up her juices as if she was dying of thirst. Shizun gasped in bliss as Naruto began pounding her peach and her PP, intending on doing what Tsunade said. Look at that Shizun, he's taking both your holes, how's it feel being his bee now? Tsunade asked her with a lustful look. Shizun's mind was gone from the absolute pure bliss she was feeling. I think she's enjoying it, Tsunade. Naruto said. I know she is, Tsunade said smiling at the face Shizen was making. Shizen screamed in joy-filled bliss as Naruto began leaking inside of both of her holes, causing her to begin drooling as the pleasure destroyed her mind. Salty little bee, Tsunade said slapping Shizen's peach, we are going to truly break your body making you into the perfect SLT for us, she said with a grin wanting to bang Shizen with Naruto more. 3 hours later. Shizen as it was all she could do as Tsunade had a strap on pounding her PP while Naruto was slamming into her peach. Come on Shizen, we're almost there, Naruto said kissing her neck just as Tsunade did with the other side making the already mind-broken Shizen loader. I say we truly broke her, if you fill her up any more she may pop. Tsunade said as Shizen's stomach bulged slightly from the amount of juices stuffed into her holes. Let's see how she takes this last load, Naruto said as he blasted another load up her peach causing her stomach to expand until she looked 5 months PRGN. You did well SLT, Tsunade said happily as she petted Shizen and was surprised when Naruto tore the strap-on she had on right off and pulled her into a kiss dominating her mouth. The large-breasted woman was surprised as Naruto's juices gushed out of Shizen's holes like a dam being burst open. Get the F on your hands and knees, Naruto said slapping her peach aggressively. F, Tsunade thought as Naruto was using his increased strength and dominating her. Tsunade got on her hands and knees but not before giving his PP a kiss before turning around and shaking her fat peach at him, slightly twerking it at him. I swear this fat peach and those jugs of yours, you were made to be a SLT, Naruto said. With a grin. Yeah, you're SLT. Tsunade said in admittance. All those loose clothing you wore never wearing a BR you wanted this didn't you, Naruto said to her. You have a giant HRM, and possibly the largest PP on the planet, every woman wants this. Tsunade said lustfully. Oh I know but I only give it to the women I love, Naruto said seeing her PP moisten. And I love you. Tsunade said as she had been holding back these feelings for years. Maybe I should keep you close by. I know a certain doctor who would love to have you near all the time, Naruto said as Caitlyn was Tsunade's fan. Please F me, help me move on. Tsunade said as Naruto brought so much light back into her life. I'll do more than that, Naruto said with a grin thrusting into her peach and heard her wince and tear up. Are you an animal version? He asked her teasingly and thrust it hard into it, and don't F lie, he said angrily. Yes. Tsunade said reaching her arms back to hold his head against her shoulder as he groped her melons. I swear with tips these big you should be AF cow, Naruto said barely able to wrap his hands around them. Tsunade very loudly as he played with her melons. Your tips are your pleasure spot aren't they? Naruto asked her curiously, hard to believe such giant tips can be so sensitive, he said as he began pinching her tips. Tsunade began climaxing again and again as the pleasure was being too much for her before he leaked inside of her peach. I can't tell you how many times I dreamed of doing this to you. Naruto said with a grin as Tsunade was on her knees tttyf his PP as some of his juice flowed out of her peach. I can't believe some of your PP is still sticking out. Tsunade said in amazement. Guess we found the perfect tips to my PP, Naruto said as Tsunade perked up from that. I swear one of these days you're going to PND a woman whose melons can take this PP leaving only the head showing. Tsunade said wondering if she was that woman. You just described the perfect tips. Naruto said with a large grin just imaging said tips. Tsunade as she put her mouth over the tip as he began leaking before pulling off and letting his juices shower her face and tips. Look at you, Naruto said with a smile liking the sight of her like this. I know, I look like a were, Tsunade said liking the juices off of her, you're were, she said happily. And you always will be. Naruto said to her as she began crying tears of joy. I love you. Tsunade said she said in pure honesty. I know, we've been at this for 4 hours and I'm sure Taunton is starving right now. Naruto said. Oh who F cares that pig can wait my PP needs your PP, Tsunade said desperately. Naruto harshly pushed her down onto the bed before putting a hand around her neck. Don't neglect your pet just because you want more pleasure, he said with a slight glare in his eyes. Aren't I your pet? Tsunade said to him. Yes, but you know how I feel about animals. You're going to need to be punished. Naruto said before shoving himself into her PP, going straight into her WMB. As of now, you are nothing more than a pleasure toy for me, he said. That sounds more like a reward than a punishment, Tsunade thought. 7 hours later. Tsunade could only as Naruto slammed into her peach as he had her strapping inside of her PP, keeping his juices inside of there as her stomach was greatly bloated along with her body soaked in her sweat and his juices. Tsunade screamed as Naruto poured another load into her, causing her stomach to look like she was 8 months pregnant. I say I've given you enough. Naruto said as he pulled himself out and pulled the strapping out. More than enough, Tsunade thought, too numb from pleasure to speak or move. Naruto watched as the bed and some of the floor got covered in the juices he put into her as it flowed out of her holes like a raging river. DMN, and I thought stuff like that only happened in Thai. Shizune said as she ate and drank Naruto's juice coming out of her mstrs. You, and when she finally leaks out of it, can clean up. I'm going to feed Taunton, who's probably starving to death by now. Naruto said as he peeked his head out at the small pig outside who looked very hungry. You do that, Mstr. Shizune said as Naruto got dressed, leaving her to clean up, something Tsunade would do once she woke up. Okay girl, let's get you something to eat. Naruto said as he picked Taunton up and left. Few days later. Thanks, Tsunade said as she reopened the clinic. You can thank me by keeping on helping save others. Naruto said as she kissed his cheek. We may not be at the point of joining your team, but we can still help others like this. Shizune said as she and Tsunade were taking it one step at a time. That's good, remember I'm here if you need me. Naruto said to them. We know, give us a call if you need help. Tsunade said as she and Shizune gave him a kiss before he left. Thank God we finished when we did, Naruto thought as Cisco and the others were prepping for a mission to Harry's Earth. In the distance. I swear I was as reckless as VERYYYY thought, seeing himself from his original timeline show up. Gideon, where the hell am I? Past Eobard said, taking his mask off and making Gideon's holographic head appear on his hand. Early 20th century, Eobard said to himself, I still hate loopholes, he thought to himself. You're me, and still here. How? Past Eobard asked. No time, and it'll disrupt the timeline. Study and look into it, Eobard said to himself, to prevent this from happening. Okay, and has the Flash been killed yet? Past Eobard asked him. Can't say, God, I was an idiot back then. Eobard said, grabbing himself and throwing him to his present. Next day with Naruto. I hate tar. Barry said as Cisco was using a compound to get the tar from their latest metahuman off of his suit. It could be worse, Naruto said to him. Here. Harry said, handing him a list. All this has is women's names on it. Naruto said, looking at it. They are the women that were in your doppelganger's HRM. Harry said to him. Why? Naruto asked curiously as to why make the list anyway. Because they can help us against Zoom, some may need more convincing as, you are dead. Harry said as the death of Naruto on his Earth hit some of the women very hard. Geez, Naruto said, not looking forward to what his death may have caused. Great, more of his HRM here. Cisco said, rolling his eyes with a chuckle. Looking forward to the future fun. Caitlin said with a smirk. How's our little surprise for Zoom? Naruto asked him as they had been working on something special to give Zoom. Almost ready, just needs a few more touches, Harry said, looking forward to this. Test it on Jay, Naruto said as he was still hiding his speed. What about me? Jay asked curiously, walking into the lab. We think we may have found a way to give you your speed back. We made a velocity that has beneficial side effects, Naruto said, lying completely. We call it VX, sounded better than V11, Harry said as that was the name of the true serum, just not this one. They handed Jay the serum as he injected it into his arm. Yes, 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 he said happily. How long till it kills him? Naruto asked him. Jay looked as his lightning began acting erratic, changing from blue to yellow to red as he held his head. He looked at his arm as it began to shrivel and decay. "What have you done to me?" he asked. "It's poison, idiot. I turbocharged the negative effects. I should tone it down though. I want to see the real you suffer," Harry said to them. Jay gasped before falling to the ground, turning into dust. Some of the others coughed and spitted as the dust was getting all over the place. "Yeah, that worked a little too well," Naruto said, as he would hate for that to be used against someone else. "You made an antidote, right?" he asked curiously. "Oh yeah. Like I was going to make a poison that could be used against us," Harry said as he found a way to completely stop the poison. "Drg. Do some tweaking. We don't want him to die just like that. We need to take our time. Destroy this monster like he's done to so many others. We need him to suffer," Naruto said. "You don't need to tell me twice," Harry said as he fully intended on making him suffer. "How long will you need?" Naruto asked him. 30 minutes or at least an hour," Harry said as Caitlin helped him fully understand the "What do you want us to do while you four are gone?" Linda asked him curiously. "Protect the city and make the place look nice. We're going to have new guests," Naruto said, looking at the list. "STR Labs. I'm sorry, I think you lost me. You want me to do what?" Naruto asked Joe. "My son," Joe said, still feeling much guilt, "is drag racing and is having issues acclimating to family life," he said to him. "So basically he's acting like a PP because in his mind you abandoned him and his mom is sick and dying from McGregor syndrome," Naruto said to him, stating it as a fact. "You're making me sound like a PP," Joe said. "You're not, man, trust me, Naruto was saying till he stopped himself as he was gonna say he hated his parents for a good long while. "Also here," he said, handing Joe an injector. "What is this?" Joe asked, looking at it. "Francine's cure," Naruto said, making Joe look at him. "McGregor syndrome is damage to a person's organs and body as it fails from wear and tear. This will undo a lot of it," he said to her. "You're just telling me about this now?" Joe asked him. "I've been busy as hell running from city to city dealing with SHT," Naruto said. "True," Joe said, seeing on the news Godspeed had been to multiple cities. "Just inject her and we're good. It'll take a few days, but what can you do?" Naruto said to him. "Oh, and where is Wally drag racing?" he asked, having a feeling Iris was gonna do something very stupid. Later that day. "Wally West?" Naruto asked him in regular street clothes. "Depends who's asking," Wally said to him. "Wait, I know you?" he asked, seeing Naruto looked familiar. "Yep, Naruto Namikaze," Naruto said to him. "Oh, SHT, Wally said in surprise. "Oh man, can I show you something? I swear it's insane," he said as he wanted to show Naruto his engine design. "Your mom is gonna be fine," Naruto said to him. "Don't play with me, man," Wally said as he knew his mom's condition was hopeless. "I made a cure and gave it to Joe. He gave it to your mom. She'll be fine in a few days," Naruto said. Wally's mouth was agape as he was stunned, not knowing how to respond or even act from what Naruto said. "Can I ask something of you?" Naruto asked him. "Name it, man," Wally said to him. "Stop all this, graduate, and come work at STR Labs," Naruto said as he looked into Wally and asked Barry about him. "Why you want me?" "Why?" Wally asked him. "Your brother was who I asked about you," Naruto said as he heard from some others Wally was acting D-ish to him, perhaps jealousy or not feeling any BLD connection. "He's a cool dude if you choose to get to know him, Wally. Don't let something like how either of your lives turned out change that. He lost his family and just got his dad back, kinda like you," he said, taking off. Few minutes later. "This is kinda sad," Naruto said, uncomfortably examining a corpse that was a replica of Kara's. "Came back from being brain dead to becoming a puppet for Maxwell Lord only to really die," he said as he never felt more disgusted. "Call Cat please," he said to Kara, wanting Cat to use the info he collected. "You got it," Kara said as Max was going to pay for this, one way or the other. "Did she have a name?" Naruto asked. "Jane Doe. Now her and the 7 other girls that came before her will finally get some justice," Alex said to them, hoping to raise their spirits, but knew she failed as they took things to heart. "Yeah, because he's gonna pay," Naruto said firmly. Few days later. You feeling better? Naruto asked Kara as they sat on her couch and watched Lord on the news facing heavy accusations. A little did she have a nice funeral? Kara asked as Naruto took care of all those girls' burials. I looked into their history and brought them all to their hometowns and gave them a nice secluded spot, Naruto said as he did the paperwork and everything, making those burials completely official. That's good. So, other world traveling? Kara asked as Naruto told her about a plan they were preparing for. Yeah, we're taking the fight to Zoom's home turf and getting Harry's daughter back, Naruto said. And the other girls that were with the other you? Kara said. Yeah, the other me that's dead, Naruto said as hearing about his many girlfriends and how they were both alike made him curious. Yeah, but a lady dead shot? Kara asked him curiously as she heard about the assassin from Alex. I know it's freaky, even freakier that she's better than our dead shot, Naruto said as the two shared a laugh. I wonder if there's a me over there, Kara said. Possibly, but she'd be 20 years over for you, and who knows if you're even on Earth, Naruto said as she was from another planet. True, but I bet she's hot, Kara said as the two shared another laugh. Want more pot stickers? Naruto asked her. Yes, always yes, Kara said getting a laugh. Oh please ramen addict, she said as she laughed at him. So how long are you gonna be here before you go? She asked knowing he was coming here to check on her as he believed she was in the lion's den with the DEO and the government, which she believed. Harry and the others need more time perfecting the stuff we're gonna use on Zoom. Enough about me, what about Astra? Naruto asked her curiously. Why want her to? You can go right ahead, my uncle is a deech, Kara said. Thanks, Naruto said as the two laughed. He then left to get the pot stickers. Kara was soon brought out of her thoughts as she waited for Naruto, hearing something in her kitchen, and when she walked in she saw an egg or some type of plant, and when it lunged at her lightning blasted it. Not on my watch, Naruto said running back in as he felt something off. The hell is that thing anyway? He asked her. Suddenly the plant began twitching before moving again. A black mercy, I thought these things were gone, Kara said as these plants were used by people with suicidal tendencies as it would give a person everything they wanted as they slowly died. As soon as the black mercy screeched at them, Naruto blasted it with fire. And stay dead, Naruto said as he wanted that thing to stay down. Your uncle, I assume? He asked her. Yeah, Astra would never do this, Kara said as her aunt wouldn't put her in that trapped state. Are all Kryptonians usually this messed up, or is it just the ones who had some status? Naruto asked her. My aunt is kinda alright, Kara said to him as everyone from her planet was turning out to be assholes. Well, luckily I know someone who can get close to him, Naruto said with a smirk. And who would that be? Kara asked him curiously. Well, remember when we met in college and I had that class for programming? Naruto said to her. Yeah, I'm still laughing when that guy somehow managed to make his computer blow up, Kara said. What's that got to do with anything? She asked him. Well, one day a robotic woman came to me as she wanted me to fix her code, and at the time I didn't know she was from Fort Ross, Naruto said to her. Robotic, please don't say it, Kara said as he cousin dealt with someone from that race. She's a Kalyuan, something I found out when I looked at the alien database at the DEO, Naruto said to her. Please tell me she's not like Brainiac, as I don't need that guy's level of carnage, Kara said as Brainiac was insane. Well, her Kalyuan name is Brainiac 8, a member of the Brainiac clan, but she goes by Indigo, Naruto said to her. Why'd she come to you? Kara asked him. Honestly, no clue, my life just revolves around craziness and coincidences, Naruto said to her. And women, Kara said with a laugh. Yep, Naruto said to her. Few hours later. Good to see you again, Indigo said looking at Kara. She had low D-cup melons, an athletic body and athletic peach. We know each other, Kara asked a little confused by that. Yeah, I mean we did escape the Phantom Zone together, Indigo said to her. We did? Kara said, now even more confused. If it weren't for me you'd have still been floating in the Phantom Zone, Indigo said to her. Wow, real grateful I saved you then, Naruto said, not knowing that bit of info. Me too, Indigo said as she winked at him. So what do you want? She asked, knowing he wouldn't call her for nothing. We're trying to off my uncle, Kara said to her simply. Way too straightforward, but essentially yes. He tried to sick a black mercy on her, so, Naruto said, as that was asking for a beatdown. Killing my ex-boyfriend? I'm in. Indigo said as she wanted to off Nan for leaving her. You and him dated, ew, Kara said, wanting to blow major chunks. Yeah, not my best choice, Indigo said to her as she was young and foolish. So you're not all machine? Naruto asked Indigo curiously. Techno-organic handsome, Indigo said, giving him a wink. Well, if you want Nan, you're going to have to get past my Aunt Astra and a couple dozen radical Kryptonians and other aliens at least until we can convince her to join us, Kara said as she still had faith in Astra. Knowing this one's history with women, that won't be hard, Indigo said with a chuckle. Few hours later. Why are we in hiding? Kara asked Naruto curiously. Because Nan might be making a move and he wouldn't wait by your apartment, he'd wait by your job or cause a ruckus, Naruto said to her. And how are you supposed to hurt him? Kara asked him curiously. I've learned a few new tricks, Naruto said with a smirk as he had a good idea where the Kryptonians were as he checked locations they've arrived and which direction they came from. It's just weird, if you wanted to hide, where's the best place to hide at? Kara asked him curiously. The last place anyone could think of, Naruto said to her, answering her question. Well, I wish he'd show. I need something to punch, Kara said as she wanted to get him back for the Black Mercy. What are our chances if Indigo can't convince him? My aunt can hold a grudge, she said, as if she and Indigo dated Nan there was sure to be some conflict. Indigo can be pretty convincing when she needs to be, Naruto said to her. I swear, are we in Scorpion PSS, Kara said as they were roasting in the desert. How are you roasting? You get energy from the sun, Naruto said to her. I still get hot, Kara said as she hated the heat. Then don't wear dark colors, Naruto said, as dark colors absorbed light while the opposite was true for light colors. Please tell me that's not what I think it is, and please be a mirage, Kara said looking ahead. So that's Fort Raz. I imagined it'd look cooler, Naruto said to her. Wait, is the shield down? He asked curiously. Can't be, it'd alert the government, Kara said as Fort Raz was able to be seen from space if the shield was down. Perfect hideout, as they'd never expect inmates to hold up in the prison that held them, Naruto said as it was a brilliant idea. After that MSTR jailer guy I had my fill of prisons, Kara said as she hated them as she was locked up by said man. Question, you all have super hearing, if so they would have heard us coming, right? So where are all the Kryptonians? Naruto asked her, looking all around them and not seeing any Kryptonians besides Kara. Hold on, if they're not here it means we can infiltrate their base, Kara said as they sped inside and looked around and found Indigo. Okay, this plan is very efficient from a certain point, but another it's asinine, Indigo said as she showed them the myriad program. Mind control. That's their plan. Alex owes me $50. Mind control is such a classic plan, Kara said as she had a bet with her, as Nan always seemed way too controlling. Any way to stop it? Naruto asked Indigo. No, Fort Raz was meant to prevent my kind from taking control of its systems. I can't even begin to tell you what tech does what, and to make matters worse everything here is basically indestructible and explosive, Indigo said to them. So what, we'd have to literally lift Fort Raz off the planet to stop them? Naruto said sarcastically, unknowingly giving Kara an idea. Basically let's go before they come back, Kara said as they left. Few minutes later at the DEO. Mind control, so that's their endgame, Hank said in surprise. Naruto and Kara decided not to tell them where the base was as they were afraid they'd F it up, causing them all to move. Alex grumbles as she handed Kara $50 as the Kryptonian girl had a smug smile on her face. So what do we do with her? She asked looking at Indigo. Well, if Kara and Naruto are saying she deserves a chance, I say go for it, Hank said as he trusted their judgment. So on a scale of 1 to 10 how boned are we if this thing happens? Leslie asked them. 10 as Myriad is supposed to control all humans in the vicinity of its activation, Indigo said to her. OSHT, Leslie said in realization. Wait, what about us? We have powers, she asked looking at Naruto. I can resist it since my mind works 10 times as fast, Naruto said to her. And we're lucky the reds aren't organic so they shouldn't be affected, Kara said, as that'd give them 4 heavy hitters if the SHT hits the fan blades. And for those that are, Alex asked as she didn't have any superhuman abilities. They'll become their puppets, but if that doesn't work they can use Myriad to kill every human as it'll be increasing in its frequency until heads literally explode, Indigo said, as when she was there she saw a backup plan Nan had if they couldn't be controlled. Classic, if you can't control them you'll kill them, Naruto said, as Harry told him Zoom did this with all the metas on Earth 2.5 and Leonard's father did the same thing. Nan doesn't know we're onto him or that we have you on our side, meaning we have a edge now, Hank said, looking at Indigo. Not much of an edge, knowing only the endgame, Naruto said, as not knowing what was gonna happen till that point. As I was in the system for a slight second I was able to slightly figure out how Myriad would have to be put into place, something about satellite dishes and solar flares, Indigo said, as there were many notes. He was gonna use the Black Mercy to keep you all distracted as you all dealt with trying to free me from it, Kara said, realizing Nan's plan. And thanks to Whiskers that plan has gone to SHT, Leslie said, high-fiving him. And we're set to be hit by massive solar flares in a couple of hours, Hank said, as they were monitoring the flares when their satellites alerted them. And because of the damages the flares could make on the hardware and the satellites, he's gonna use that to his advantage, Naruto said to them. Another advantage, while I was in the system I got the locations they're going to hit. Indigo said with a smirk before she and Kara high-fived. Impressive, Ms. Indigo, you were born for spy work. Hank said, very impressed. You hang around someone who was raised by someone in the League of Assassins, you pick up a trick or two. Indigo said, giving Naruto a look. We can set up traps for them and potentially end this once and for all, Alex said. I'll handle Astra, Kara said to them. Not alone, Alex said, as she pressed a button and a red glowing suit was shown. Sorry, but I feel with all rogue Kryptonians I needed to give her some armor, Naruto said, as he made that suit for Alex, as the DEO wanted to have a kryptonite suit and he dropped that plan immediately. And you didn't tell me because? Kara asked him curiously. Wanted it to be a surprise and she wanted a helmet so it took extra time, Naruto said, as Alex wanted her suit fully equipped. Instead of kryptonite-based weapons it fires red sun energy, and said energy makes me able to punch like a Kryptonian among other things, Alex said, as before it had kryptonite blades but she got rid of them and replaced them with blasters. Yeah, this baby will let her go toe-to-toe with your cousin and any Kryptonian, Naruto said, as he was kinda worried about the DEO agents as kryptonite was still radiation. And I'll be on standby if needed, Hank said to them as he and Alex shared a look. You didn't tell them, Alex? He asked her. I was waiting for the right time, Alex said. Right time for what? Kara asked her curiously. Few minutes later. The group entered the training room. You're a Martian? Kara asked Hank as she saw the green-skinned man in a very cool suit. Well, what the hell, man, we could've. I'm trying to make this planet safe for both humans and aliens alike, and to do that I need to be the head of the DEO, and I can't be head of the DEO if I'm an alien, Hank said. So what do we call you? Hank or John? Naruto asked him. Either works, but Hank here, Hank said to him, as he didn't need anyone here questioning that. But still, why hide yourself? I mean, he has a telepathic gorilla in his city as a hero, Leslie said. DEO isn't very trusting, Hank said to her. What happened to the real Hank Henshaw? Naruto asked, as he felt that needed to be asked. He's dead, Hank said to them, remembering that day with Jeremiah Danvers as the man sacrificed himself to save him from Henshaw. Did you ever find a body? Naruto asked him. It was assumed that it was taken by a predator or perhaps an alien, Hank said, as the body was never found when he took Hank's place, it just vanished. Great, hope that doesn't come back to bite us. Golden rule of dead people, if their body wasn't ever found then they may still be alive, Naruto said, as that generally how it went, if you never find the person's body then they may not be dead. He's got a point there, Alex said to him, as military always labeled all believed to be soldiers not found to be declared MIA as a precaution, as soldiers could have been either kidnapped or have gone rogue. Meaning there's a chance Jeremiah could be alive, Kara said, hoping that was true. No, he's definitely alive, Naruto said, as he wondered what state he'd be in. Let's deal with Nan and this myriad first before we do anything, Hank said, as those were the main problems at the moment. Where are you? Naruto thought to himself as his father met Jeremiah Danvers once before many years ago. Few hours later. Why are we waiting back? Kara asked him. Cause we need to kick his butt, Naruto said as he wanted to surprise Nan and the others. Let's do this, Leslie said as she wanted to kick some major butt. Where are you? Naruto thought as he looked around as he spotted Astra but not Nan. Go, he said to the others. Hank, are there more attacks anywhere? He asked over the comms. Yes, in 5 other locations, 6 total, just like Indigo said, Hank said. Any of them seem important like government? Naruto asked him curiously as he didn't know where they all attacked. No, they're just locations that uses Lord's LTE system, Hank said as all the satellites they were targeting were ones with that specific system. Is Nan spotted at any of them? Naruto asked him. Yes, one outside of the city, Hank said. I'm on it, they've got this here, Naruto said as he told Leslie to hit another spot and Alex to assist Kara. Few minutes later. So you're Nan? Wow, I thought you'd be less ugly, Naruto said as he arrived. Hey, I gotta ask, is it Kryptonian culture to act as evil as your name sounds? I mean Zod Nan, these are names of some evil-sounding PP heads, he said, pissing him off. Nan charged at him intending on punching him, but Naruto caught the fist. You'll find that I'm way stronger than I look, he said to him. Also, he said as he raised his open hand and closed his hand making a fist and extended a finger, then touched Nan, zapping him, sending him flying back. So your name wasn't just for show, Nan said as he got back up. Nope. So what's it gonna be, fight or flight? Naruto asked as Nan flew up and left. Coward, he said as he looked around and didn't see Nan trying an aerial attack. Few hours later. You took down Astra? Naruto asked Alex, who nodded. Respect, he said as they fist bumped. Hank got some good punches in but she had him a bit on the ropes, Alex said as John showed up to help, but with her super strength and her combat skills she got him with some ease. Okay, forgetting Nan right now, his forces are crippled, Naruto said as they caught more than half their forces. Where's Kara? He asked curiously. With Astra, Alex said as Kara wouldn't leave her after what Lane tried to do Astra the first time around. I'll have a cell ready just in case, Naruto said as he could get Astra to the pipeline fast. I doubt that'll be needed, Alex said to him as she doubted her own claim, but with Kara here it gave her some assurance. Yeah, Naruto said to her before giving her a kiss. See you when I get back, he said before speeding off to Central City. Next day in STR Labs. You sure this'll work? Jay asked him curiously. Yep, Naruto said to him, then went up to Cisco. Need any backup? Will asked him as she stood with Irma and Terane. Yeah, Cisco, Naruto said, getting close. You know what to do, he said to him. Cisco breathed as he focused before shaking his arms before firing a blast in front of them, creating a breach before it faltered. DMN it, he said. Basement, let's go, Harry said as they stabilized it with rings. Make sure it can handle the feedback it'll let off once we enter, otherwise all 3 rings will overload, Naruto said to the tech team. You got it, Hartley said. Fixing now, Bree said to him. And our thing, Naruto asked Harry. Perfected it and it's ready, Harry said as they went through 7 J's, and Naruto and Barry had hidden their speed from each remnant, giving Zoom the perspective they were much slower. Boom baby, Hartley said as he and Bree high-fived. Let's go, Naruto said as he and Barry stood on opposite sides of the team and ran into the breach. Inside the breach. What the hell, Naruto thought as he was being pulled away from the others inside the breach, and as he fought it he felt himself spin out of control. What the F, Naruto asked himself as he felt really disoriented, and as he looked around and saw he was somewhere very colorful, he then ran around the area and saw he was in Central City. This isn't how Harry described it. SHTMI on another Earth, he thought to himself. Well, looky here, I was looking for a missing speedster and look what I found, a new guy. What they call you, mate, a man said behind Naruto. Godspeed, you. Naruto said to the fellow speedster. Johnny, quick, you must be from another Earth as you feel different, mate, Johnny said to him. You see an old guy wearing a red leather jacket and calls himself the Flash, he asked him. I know a young guy who apparently has been parading around as him, Naruto said as this made sense about the suit Jay had. Multiverse theory made lot of differences and many similarities, Johnny Quick said. No, this one says he's from Earth 2.5, I guess I'm on 3.5. Yep, and funny how Earths can exist between Earths, Johnny said to him. You a criminal? Naruto asked him. Was, until I got bored, Johnny said to him as he mostly stole wallets and low-level crimes. I mean, only way I could PSS off the old man. What about you? Johnny Quick said to him. You seem like more of a trickster than a criminal, Naruto said to him. Yeah, I love pissing people off. Say, you wouldn't happen to know a jackass named Zoom now, would you? Johnny Quick asked as that was the last speedster here who saw him. Also mate, you must be pretty fast to do breaches that takes crazy speed. Any enhancements tech? He asked Naruto. You know him and no just training, Naruto said answering both questions. The old geezer took him on and hasn't been seen since, Johnny said as he missed a little competition. Wanna grab a bite? The people here are too afraid to charge me and I'm guessing my Earth uses different cash, he said to him in certainty. I am a bit hungry but this city seems to be doing pretty good without a flash, Naruto said to him. Ah, everyone got sorta bored as they didn't have someone to fight, Johnny said as he wasn't a dictator, just an adrenaline junkie. An hour later. So you're a part of the crime syndicate? Naruto asked as they ate at a Big Belly Burger, which was apparently a universal franchise. Yep, me, Superwoman, Owlman, Ultraman and others. Johnny said as he handed Naruto his phone and showed him pictures. Hello. Naruto said looking at the picture of Superwoman. Careful mate, that one is hard to handle, very deadly and is willing to kill, Johnny said not knowing how Owlman was alive. Okay, so if you can universe travel, why haven't you gone to find your Flash? Naruto asked him curiously. Too many failed tries, so I sorta gave up. And the Justice League, Johnny said as he couldn't run to too many Earths as he got lucky once or twice. Seems you guys are the opposites of the people I have back home, Naruto said wondering how there was a Flash here. The Syndicate or people like our Flash? Johnny asked him. Syndicate, Naruto said to him and froze when he saw a picture of the Flash. No way, he thought as he saw Barry's dad. Okay, so anything I should be worried with this Syndicate, he asked him. Ultraman is like some Italian Jersey Mafia-style boss guy. He was the right-hand man in his dad's city till he offed the old man and took over hell. Bloody BSTRD made his symbol in the moon, Johnny said to him. Well, I have someone like him back home and I can take him on easily, Naruto said. Are you still a member? As wouldn't they be mad you're giving me this information? Bah, screw them. I love being a pain in the butt and yeah, I'm still with them as there ain't no leaving my friend. You leave you die, Johnny said to him. Sounds like this Ultraman thinks he's a god, Naruto said wanting to prove the man wrong. Shouldn't you be more worried about getting back to your friends than worry about my Earth's issues? Johnny asked him. Time moves differently on Earths. Think about it like a planet in the solar system. A planet like Earth's time is shorter in comparison to some other planet like say Jupiter or Neptune. Further the distance, shorter the time, Naruto said to him. If you were in a breach going to 2.5, how'd you end up here? Johnny asked him. I don't know, I felt someone or something pull me out and then I'm here, Naruto said. Sounds like you're dealing with a traveler, someone one can freely move between universes. Johnny said to him, we ain't got one here. Poor BSTRD was murdered, so could have been someone else, he said to him. Then I guess that makes me one of a kind, Naruto said as he was curious as to who tried to pull him. The two turned in their seats to see someone approaching them. Cisco. Naruto said before he got closer. Not Cisco, he said as the Cisco he knew wouldn't dress up like this guy. Reverb, and sorry for the rough travel. I tried to pull you to Earth 2, or as you're calling it 2.5, but thanks to your struggle you ended up here, Reverb said to him. So what, you're here to take me there now? Naruto asked him. Yes, because I know you can kill Zoom, but take your time, we have it here, Reverb said as days here was like a day on his Earth. You were right, by the way, the further the Earth the more difference in time there is, he said to him. Well, I don't know about you, but I can't really think of something to take up the time, Naruto said, then looked at Johnny. Except F with the crime syndicate, he said with a grin. Your funeral mate, Johnny said to him. You got my number, so if you call it, then it means you're not dead, he said as he ran. You want to save this world? Reverb asked him curiously. You are too much like your Earth 2.5 doppelganger, he said, letting out a sigh. Come on, let's go, we're drawing too much attention, Naruto said to him as he grabbed him and sped off. Few hours later. I thought he was kidding, Naruto said, as Ultraman was exactly how Johnny described him. So you're taking on this syndicate by taking on its head. I'm guessing you have more powers than Speed. Reverb said to him. You back home did the same with Zoom until he killed you and your parents, he said to him sadly. Can you show me? Naruto asked him. I'll do more than that, he told me to do something as he expected this to happen, Reverb said to him. Some mind meld SHT from beyond the grave, Naruto asked curiously. Yep, even in death you're never truly dead, Reverb said. Was I your friend there? Naruto asked. The best, Reverb said to him as he placed his hand on Naruto's head. Whoa, Naruto said as he got a rush from the sudden burst of memories. How are you? Reverb asked him curiously as he basically merged his dead friend in him. A little shaky. Good to see you, man, Naruto said, hugging him. You have no idea how much SHT has happened to us on Earth 2.5 because Zoom killed you, Reverb said to him. Yeah, I know, for one you're a sorta bad guy, Naruto said as before his 2.5 self died he heard Cisco went villain. I was scared and so was Frost. Reverb said as when Zoom killed his parents he had to do many things to survive and killing Naruto was just another reason. Well, when we take down Zoom, things can go back to normal. Sorta, Naruto said as he felt like this was gonna take a while to adjust to. Come on, let's go be heroes, Reverb said, never thinking that would happen. Let's go kick this mobster's butt, Naruto said with a smirk. An hour later. Will this work? Reverb asked curiously. Yeah, besides Superwoman I know how to take these idiots down, Naruto said as he made red solar guns and knew the weaknesses in Owlman's suits as they were the same as Batman's. Back home when we'd go out to take people down I'd give you a time limit. What do you think of seeing if you can take them down in 2 hours? Reverb asked him with a small smirk. Dude, I'd think you have no faith in my ability to kick, but, Naruto said as the two shared a laugh. So who you want? He asked him curiously. Bet I could kick this archer guy's butt, Reverb said as he looked at the red archer. Take on whoever you want, Naruto said to him as they both took a gun in case Ultraman went to them. See you in 2 hours, Reverb said as he made a breach and went through it. Even on different Earths he's a cheater, Naruto said to him. 2 hours later. Do I even want to ask how you got them too? Reverb asked as he exited a breach, seeing Naruto with Superwoman and Ultraman's cousin Ultragirl. Well, one is attracted to me cause I beat her and Owlman in combat, and Ultragirl here wants to betray her cousin as she got tired of the villain gig, Naruto said as Owlman was very dead as Superwoman killed him after he was defeated. Even from other universes you can always get women so easily, Reverb said with a chuckle. All that's left is the head honcho himself, he said. Won't be easy, Superwoman said to him. She had low F cups, curvy but very athletic body, and a nice bubbly peach. He's got a lot of hired guns, Ultragirl said to him. She had mid-E cup melons, curvy body, and a bubbly peach. Wow, universe got lazy, Naruto said as he found Ultraman's main boy, Jimmy Olsen. I mean seriously, you think the universe would get creative, he said as Ultragirl was Kira Clarkson and Superwoman was Mary Batson. Wanna go after his girl? Superwoman asked him. Who's his girl? Naruto asked her. Ultrawoman, Superwoman said to him. Let me guess, Lois Lane, Naruto asked as the universe really got lazy. No, Lana Lang, Superwoman said to him. Well, there's one change, Naruto said to her. Well, apparently Ultraman isn't pleasing in bed, Superwoman said to him. Oh, if he's anything like the Naruto I had back home he definitely is better, Cisco said to him. Good to know, the two women said. 2 minutes later. This is too easy, Naruto said as they basically took down an entire group of superhumans. Easy, and Ultrawoman agreed, very easy. Here he keeps a bullet of blue kryptonite when he needed to kill Ultragirl, Ultrawoman said as she gave him a blue glowing bullet. She had low E cup melons, a curvy body, and a nice bubbly peach. Let's kill this son of B, Reverb said as he had in a short time being here hated the man. Just get him out on the open and I'll take the shot, Naruto said as this guy needed to die. 20 minutes later. So this is what being a hero is like, Reverb said as many people cheered for them as they killed Ultraman. Did you miss it? Naruto asked him. Never got it, Reverb said to him, but I am liking it, he said. Yeah, not too bad, Superwoman said getting cheers, also I'm assuming there might be some reward SEC, she asked curiously. Later, Naruto said as Reverb opened a breach to Earth 1.5 the girls went through as Reverb then opened another to Earth 2.5. Time to kick zooms but, Reverb said as they went through. Earth 2.5. Seriously a few minutes? Naruto said not expecting it to be that short. Told you, Reverb said simply as he knew Naruto understood it but experiencing it was different. So how do we hide from Zoom? Naruto asked as Zoom apparently could camouflage his speed and had some sense of when speedsters showed up on this earth. We need to deal with his foot soldiers like Deathstorm he needs to go, Reverb said as the man was addicted to burning people and he heard when Martin Stein and him finally died from being suppressed it was not an easy thing to hear/feel. And what about Frost or the others, Naruto asked him. I can sense your Cisco as with our powers we have this sorta connection, Reverb said not answering his question about Frost. What happened to Frost, Naruto asked again. Caitlyn was distraught when you passed and as time went on all that was left was anger and Killer Frost, Reverb said to him. I got through to you, I can get through to her, Naruto said to him. Good luck as there is a civil war going on outside, Reverb said to him. Lady Deadshot and Ravager are at it again, he said as it was bloodshed outside. 1 Deadshot's a girl here. 2 Ravagers alive here. And 3 I can handle them, Naruto asked/said to him. Also your wife, Reverb said to him. Oh right, Naruto said remembering memories from 2 lives was a little difficult, married to an assassin on one earth married to a woman from an island of chicks, he said to him. Just stop Athena, Reverb said to him. What was her name man I'm seriously having a hard time aligning my memories, Naruto asked him. Shizuka, Reverb said to him. Few minutes later. I look like AF douchebag, Naruto said as he was wearing sunglasses and a hat. You're dead here remember, Reverb said as they went to STR Labs many people running away as they saw him. I used to like that now I kinda hate it, he said to him as after being treated like a hero being a villain sucked. Yo man we thought you were dead, Cisco said to him before Will, Irma, and Terane tackled him. Hello Cisco, Reverb said to his counterpart, I call myself Reverb what's yours, he said as he didn't want the back and forth nonsense. Vibe, Cisco said as he checked himself out liking his counterpart's gear. You work for Zoom, why come here? Harry asked aiming a gun at him. To kill him also Naruto Namikaze from this earth has been resurrected through him, Reverb said simply. The others gave Naruto a look, I'll explain later, he said to them. So what's dash, Cisco was saying till a loud explosion was heard. Yeah apparently my wife, the wife I had here who's a Amazon, is taking on Lady Deadshot and Ravager, Naruto said as the explosion was right outside. You can't reveal yourselves either of yourselves, Harry said referring to them and their alter egos. Then what are we supposed to do, let them tear apart the city? Irma said as Will and Terane nodded as they weren't gonna do nothing. No I have an idea, Naruto said looking at Reverb. Your crazy one shoots the other throws knives I'll take my chances, Reverb said to him. I don't mean go outside I meant open a breach, Naruto said to him. You have a room I can use, he asked Harry. I have over a dozen secret rooms good luck, Harry said to him. Few minutes later. You stupid idiot, Shizuka said punching him in the face repeatedly. She had low G cups, curvy body, and large bubbly peach. Yeah okay real thankful I can heal fast, Naruto said as he forgot she was very calm but was scary when angered. Shut it. How do we deal with those two? Shizuka asked him. Should be easy, Naruto said to her. They're good, Shizuka said in admittance. If I can take down Raz Al Ghul then I can probably take them, Naruto said to her easily. If you're so certain it's so easy then show me, Shizuka said to him wanting to see him back up his boast. Reverb, Naruto said as the man opened up a breach and the two came through and he restrained them. As, Shizuka said to him. Aren't you dead? Ravager asked him curiously. She has low-E cup melons, an athletic body and a toned peach. Hey, I tried to have a CC with you one time, Lady Deadshot said to him in surprise. She had high DD cup melons and an athletic body and peach. We're gonna kill Zoom Want and also you get a clean slate on a new earth, Naruto said to them. The two looked at each other before looking back at him. We're in, they said in unison. Great mercenaries, Harry said simply. More girls to play with later, Will said happily and perversely making the others but Irma and Terane move away from her. Later at CCPD. What the hell are you doing? Naruto asked Barry curiously. I was trying to blend, Barry said as he took his doppelganger's place. Terrible idea dude. For one, Harry has a metahuman app dash, Naruto was saying noticing Barry tense. Oh lord, who found you out? He asked him. Iris app may have caught on to me but she said it was busted, Barry said to him. Good, so wait, she's a cop? Naruto asked him. Captain and Sing is a petty thief. And she's my wife, Barry said as this was weird. Man, wow, Naruto said in surprise. And my mom's alive here, Barry said to him. She would be no thon no mom murder, Naruto said to him. Also I have a brother somehow, Barry said to him. Naruto froze at the mention of that as he found that incredibly off as he could understand his world not having a Jesse as his real Wells died but Barry not having a brother seemed off. What's his name? He asked him. Malcolm Allen. Barry said to him. I'll look into it, Naruto said wondering how this was as the Earths were a mirror from one another so hearing this made zero sense to him. So what now? We go looking for more people to help us with Zoom? Barry asked him curiously. Harry got me a reading as we're still a little slower than Zoom, Naruto said as he was around 6,200 and Barry was at 5,700 miles per hour. What? But I thought we finally hit the 6,000s, Barry said. Yeah, Harry gave me a more accurate reading. Also your double told us that, Naruto said to him as Zoom clocked just under 6,400 miles per hour. So unless he gets those DRGS in him we're screwed is what you're saying, Barry said as even now Zoom could increase his speed furthering his speed, never trusting anything from E1 again, he said thinking his E1 counterpart was a moron. Sorry man, Naruto said to him. It's cool, Barry said rubbing his head. Barry? Iris said as she approached them. Who's this? She asked curiously as she was suspicious of the very covered-up man. Oh great, I'm going to have a bigger headache, Barry said under his breath as this was gonna be difficult to explain. I'm Dash, Naruto was saying till her watch went off and she looked at him and pointed her gun at him. I swear even on this earth when you don't even know me you're a pain in the butt, he said to her. Welcome to my world, Barry said to him. Iris, drop it, he's a friend, he told her. Barry, he's a meta, Iris said as she still aimed her gun at him. And you're AB most of the time I've known you, Naruto said to her. Not helping, Barry said to him. I don't know you. Who are you? Iris said to him. Can I? Naruto asked not knowing what he'd do to her yet. No, Iris put down the gun, Barry said to Naruto. Then Iris. Look lady, if I was one of Zoom's metas then you would already be dead by now, Naruto said to her. Barry, let's go, he said to him as this was pointless. Fine, Barry said. Hey wait, didn't Harry give you a list? He asked him as he remembered Harry giving him a list 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was people I've been with here, Lady Deadshot was one of them. Naruto said as since he fused with his E2.5 double he really didn't need it. Well, we'll need all the help we can get, Barry said as that was the honest truth. Maybe look up your girls and ask them for help, he said. Okay, if someone doesn't start explaining things I'm shooting one of you, Iris said as she was confused as hell. Shooting me is pointless and another thing, Naruto said poking her knocking her out. Don't worry, she's just stunned, he said seeing Barry's worried expression. Okay, as I was pretending to be other me, she talked about Joe's show. Apparently he's a lounge singer here, Barry said. We are so going to see him sing, Naruto said as that was a sight to see as he heard Joe sing to himself occasionally and he sucked. He wondered if the man's doppelganger was any good. What about her? Barry asked him. She won't remember also, Naruto said as he removed the battery out of her watch, not going on repeat here, he said, not wanting to deal with this again and again. Okay, now let's go see Joe, as this is a can't-miss situation, Barry said as he really wanted to see if this Joe was a good singer like him. 2 hours later. SHT, Naruto said as he was sitting away from Barry and Iris after hearing Joe perform before Cisco shot him a text saying, "How's the girl search going?" Before he responded with, "Good," stopped to hear Joe sing "Don't worry, I recorded it for you," which made Naruto smile as he was gonna use this to tease Joe. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breachers here today," Killer Frost said as she came in with Deathstorm. "Reverb, I thought you had these two handled," Naruto said in a text to Reverb. "I tried, like I said, Zoom calls the shots," Reverb replied back. "Hey Blondie, we have a stick up here and you're texting," Killer Frost said approaching Naruto. "Maybe I should freeze off your thumbs," she said with a grin. "You wouldn't like that, Kate," Naruto said, making her freeze. That voice," Killer Frost said as she backed up as he took off his glasses showing her his face. "No F way," she said in a combination of fear, joy, anger, and sadness. "Zoom killed this Earth's you, guess he's gonna get another," Deathstorm said. "More like a round 2 Ronnie, I am this Earth's Naruto said as after fusing with his deceased counterpart he experienced new things as all 3 lives conjoined. "Reverb's been messing around with things again," Deathstorm said to him, all the pieces coming together. "Iris, you shoot that gun and SHT's gonna get real," Naruto said to her. "Then what do you want me to do?" Iris said as she knew she couldn't take all them on. "Get Joe and both of you get out of here," Naruto said to her as he gave Barry a look as Barry nodded and sped the two out of the place as Naruto turned his focus back on Killer Frost and Deathstorm. "So what we doing?" he asked them curiously. Killer Frost looked uncertain whether she should attack him or not. "You're a speedster, so you're coming with us," Deathstorm said, not really caring if his old friend was resurrected, he preferred life. "If you want me to come with you, you're going to have to catch me first," Naruto said, "but I don't think you will attack me. Both of your hands are shaking, meaning you can't decide on whether or not you want to hurt me or not," he said as he could see the struggle in their eyes. "Well, too bad," Ronnie said, shooting his flames. Naruto raised his hand and the flame stopped in place. "The hell?" Ronnie said, shocked. "Elemental powers along with super speed and half a dozen or so other tricks," Naruto said as he sent the flames right back at him, sending him flying through the doors. Killer Frost raised her arm but slowly put it back down as she seemed to be having a war go on inside of her. "That's the snowflake I remember," Naruto said to her with a gentle smile. "Why can't I hurt you?" Killer Frost asked him. "Because the Frost and Caitlyn I know is still in there," Naruto said to her, knowing whichever one she was a kind soul. Before a tense moment happened, Killer Frost looked at him with her eyes no longer white. "Go kick his butt," she said in full confidence. "Naruto, we gotta go," Harry said as he came up to him. "Zoom got Barry and he is rallying his troops," he said, as there were many metas in this city. "But I haven't found the other girls yet and we still don't know where Zoom is keeping them," Naruto said to Harry. "I know," Killer Frost said to them. Few minutes later. "What the hell?" Naruto said in surprise as they were in Zoom's hideout. "The girls are down below, the speedsters he keeps are beside them," Frost said to him as he carried her to them. "Jesse, Barry," Naruto said, seeing them both in cells. "Oh right, forgot to tell you, Barry, my bad, new earth, new frequency," he said as he forgot that tidbit. "Holy SHT, your Naruto Namikaze," Jessie said in surprise. She had low D-cup melons, athletic body, and a firm peach. "Dude, why the hell does Zoom have all your women?" Barry asked, a little worried about that answer. "Jesus," Black Siren said, seeing Naruto. "You are alive," she said as she had D-cup melons, athletic curvy body and a bubbly peach. Naruto, 2 women Naruto recognized as Hei Lin and Cornelia, Will, Irma, T-Terani, they said as tears began to come down their faces seeing the 3 of them alive and well. Cornelia had large D-cup melons, curvy body, and firm round peach. Hei Lin had D-cup melons, slim curvy body, and a bubbly peach. Finally, a rescue. "You mind getting us out?" A blonde woman with J-cup melons, curvy but athletic body, and a large bubbly peach. Karen star pleasure. Now can you please get me the F out of here, she asked him. What about the Iron Mask guy? Jesse asked them. Naruto looked at the man and concentrated. He's a speedster, let's go, he said as he sped inside and pulled him out. Zoom's coming, Karen said to him as they turned off the red light in her cell. Zoom arrived in front of them as Killer Frost grabbed Harry's gun and shot him with a dart. Speed dampener, Naruto asked as Harry came prepared. Yeah, and the finished DRG, Harry said as it was a much smaller dose than he'd like. Guys go, Naruto said as he saw Zoom's lightning spark out a bit. He's faster now, he said as he felt a lot from Zoom. Zoom took a step forward before getting shaky as he shook his head as he felt like he couldn't walk straight. We only have a few seconds go, Naruto said as he ran back and forth to the lab, and when he was about to make his final trip back, Zoom tackled him but Frost shot him. Go, Killer Frost said to him. No, Barry, take her and go, I'll buy you time, Naruto said to him. Some dash, Killer Frost was saying before Zoom's vibrating hand was shoved through her chest. Naruto froze as he saw that happen, and soon red and white lighting danced around his body. No, Barry said as Frost dropped. Naruto began panting like an animal before the lightning came in bursts take the shape of what appeared to be a fox. Barry, take Frost and go, he said, not wanting to leave her body here. Barry did what he was told as Naruto's monstrous form turned at Zoom before roaring. We see Eobard standing in a field before a trail of red lightning goes across his eyes. Naruto, he said before speeding off. Back with Naruto. Where the hell do you think you're going? Naruto said as he and Zoom ran around the city. Thanks to the speed drag he was somewhere around 7,000 miles per hour, but thanks to the negative speed force Naruto closed the gap very easily. Zoom grunted as Naruto's tail wrapped around his throat. Let's go for a run, Mr. Zolomon, Naruto said, wanting him to suffer. No, Zoom said as he vibrated out of his hold before Naruto grabbed him again. It wasn't an offer, Naruto said to him, deadly serious. But how do you know which is the real me? Zoom said as he made time remnants. Naruto punched him in the face before his tail stabbed him. I don't care, I'll kill all of you, he said before tearing the Zoom he had stabbed in half. Good night, Naruto, Eobard said, injecting a DRG into his system. You'll thank me later, he said to Naruto as he took him away. Few minutes later, back on Earth 1.5. You're dead, Cisco said nervously as Thawne was holding Naruto, which was the reason why he wasn't being blasted. Yeah, it didn't stick, Thawne said, putting him down. What did you do to him? Caitlin asked as Naruto seemed drugged. Stopped him from getting too consumed by the negative speed force. You could say he's now in his mind as he needs to control it before it controls him, Thawne said, because if Naruto didn't control his negative speed force, that monster would always come out. Welcome back, a voice said to Naruto. Never understood why the speed force introduced me to you, Naruto said as he saw Sasuke. Thawne did the right thing because if you kept going you would have been consumed by your rage, Sasuke said to him. Ironic given who I'm speaking to, Naruto said to him. True, but remember the training you had to go through to tame your tailed beast powers? You must do something similar if you wish to control the power I gave you, Sasuke said to him. You mean tame the negative speed force? Naruto asked him. Yes, Thawne has done it to a degree from what you've seen, Sasuke said to him as Thawne had his outbursts and he could feel someone tap into him and somewhat managing the power. So I'm supposed to control the power without the power controlling me? Naruto asked him. Yes, because if you don't mstr this power it will destroy you or turn you into something you fear, Sasuke said to him. Naruto nodded as he began meditating. Hours later. Why haven't we killed this guy yet? Thea asked as she felt Thawne was as bad as her father. Because he's my friend, Naruto said as he woke up. How are you feeling? Thawne asked him. Weird, Naruto said as he felt the opposing speed forces stop conflicting within his body and were in harmony. Perfect, now speed lab go, Thawne said as they were all sent flying as a sonic boom happened in the lab making him chuckle. What's he clocking? Lady Deadshot asked. 9,000 miles per hour, Harry said as he pulled up the readings from the lab. God DMN, Barry said impressed. Fantastic you mean, Harry said as Naruto had now topped Zoom considerably. Why is his lightning white and black? Cisco asked a little worried. So he succeeded where I failed, Eobard said sounding proud. I expected orange mixing but that's cooler, he said with a chuckle. What did he do? Kendra asked curiously. He's gained pure speed force energy and pure negative speed force energy, Eobard said to them. Every speedster has a unique lightning. The negative speed force is usually red for all its speedsters as it focuses on anger, he said. Well, I'm outta here unless one of you wants to kill me, he said to them with a grin. Thank you Eobard, for saving me, Naruto said as the two shook hands. I'm surprised you haven't killed him yet, Thea said to Barry. I want to but he's saved us too many times. I kill him I could be screwing us all. And I finally managed to move on from him, Barry said as he'd always strongly hate Thawne but he felt more at peace now and could manage it. Get out of here already, Will said to Thawne who ran through a red breach. So what all did we miss? Naruto asked Caitlyn. Well, we killed Jay again and Tsunade fought someone who used the strength force, Caitlyn said as Geomancer went down. Okay, now let's help this guy, Naruto said looking at the man with the iron mask. 1 hour later. Gah, I don't know what was worse, wearing that thing or listening to the two of you complaining as you did it, the man said as Harry and Cisco removed the mask. What the F, was the response of a lot of people who saw the man without the mask as he looked like Henry Allen. Come on Johnny misses you Jay, Naruto said as he grabbed the man. You've been to my Earth? Jay asked him curiously. Yep, Naruto said as he ran with him opening a breach to his Earth which he entered. Later at night with Caitlyn. Caitlyn stared at her doppelganger's body sadly and in pain as she saw how the woman died. Rest in peace, she thought and wondered why they had a goddamn morgue. She will soon awaken, a loud voice said to her. Who's there? Frost said as she took over. I am a mere follower, a man who obeys my one true MSTR. I serve the one, the almighty Savitar, the voice said to her as she turned and saw a man walked in wearing a cloak. MSTR. Wait, Savitar, Naruto talked about someone in the Speed Force with that name, Caitlyn asked as Naruto once told her about his time there. Yes, now be reborn, the both of you, the man said as he opened a stone box revealing a blue glowing stone that made Frost look at it hypnotically before she touched it and before she knew it Frost and her doppelganger were encased in a cocoon-like structure. Enjoy my gift my friend, Savitar said simply. Next day. What the hell is that thing? Naruto asked Cisco, and why the F do we have a morgue? He said never knowing about this, wondering if this was another change from their journey to Flashpoint. Thawne used it to study the dead metas, Cisco said to him. We only had 2, Naruto said in surprise. Well, tell that to him, Cisco said. Forget that SHT, how do we get Caitlyn out of that thing? We'll ask them. Ugh, which one? Bree asked them. What do you mean which? Naruto asked her. There are 2 bodies in there, Bree said showing him a scanner. And Kate went down to see her doppelganger's body, Irma said. She was dead, Naruto said with absolute certainty. Well, apparently it didn't stick, Cisco said to him. Dude, we have, what the F is that? Barry said as he came in. Forget about it, what's the problem? Naruto asked as he had to leave this in Team Tech's hands as he didn't know what to do. Someone found a shell of a human body, Barry said to him. One of those days, Naruto said to himself. Half hour later. Hey Julian, Naruto said as he saw the body shell. Geez Alan, what you do this time? Julian asked as Naruto was never late, and if he was it was because of work as he had many cases he was doing. PP, Barry thought as he wanted to knock him out. Why is the body so small? Naruto asked seeing the body shell. Could have dried out making it shrink, or maybe some snake-like meta-reptiles shed skin as they get bigger, Julian said to him. Please be wrong, I hate snakes, Barry and Patty said. They're not that bad, Naruto said to them, except Orochimaru, Kabuto, and Manda, he thought to himself. It's almost like it was left by a child, Barry said as that was what the size reminded him of. Now I'm worried, Naruto thought to himself in worry. See if you two can pick up any trace DNA. I have an idea. I'll have to run, he said, leaving them alone. Hey! Barry said, following him. Stay and help, Naruto said as he went to CCPD to check if there were any missing person reports of children or people matching the size of the husk. 1 hour later. Naruto was currently at an orphanage as they reported a missing child last week by the name of Frankie Kane. Let's see if this works, he thought as Harry lent him his watch and turned off the indicator and changed it to vibrate instead for stealth purposes. Hi, I'm looking for Frankie Kane, he asked a receptionist. Not here, a woman said, not really caring. Should report this, Naruto thought as he considered making a donation, but the people here seemed like they could give a rat's. But he then took out his phone. Hey Hartley, I'm sending you a picture, can you run it, he asked him. Greetings old friend, a man in a cloak said as everything slowed down. Savitar. Naruto said as he recognized the voice. Yes, and it's good to see you again, Savitar said, sounding pleased. I see you like every week when I do those mind trips into the Speed Force, Naruto said as he always stopped by to chat with Savitar to show he hasn't forgotten him. The time draws close before we meet face to face, but don't worry, I'm not going to kill you or the others, you're my friends. But I can't show the same mercy to Barry Allen, Savitar said to him. Then I'll stop you, Naruto said to him. Keep training and when we meet, you just might be at my level, my friend. Savitar said as Naruto grabbed the man by the collar as time sped up. Who the hell are you, man? A random man said to Naruto. Possession mind control, Naruto thought as he let the guy go. He's still in the Speed Force but his mind is controlling others, he thought as he wasn't limiting it to that guy. Naruto, are you there? Hello. Hartley said over the phone, I can't find her but she has a few local spots she's been known to run to, he said to him. Thanks, Naruto said as he took out his Godspeed ring and kept it at the ready. 1 hour later. I swear the more I come to Keystone the more crappy it gets, Naruto thought to himself. Gotta give the girl credit, smart place to run to, hiding from the cops, he thought to himself as watch was vibrating like crazy showing he was close to Frankie. Go away, a girl's voice came out from a distance, it echoing off the nearby walls. I'm not here to harm you in any way, Frankie, Naruto said as he read her file, and she had suffered much abuse and he was not gonna leave her alone as he suffered a lot of abuse as well. Frankie came out looking at him in surprise. I saw you on TV, she said to him. More than you think, Naruto said as he equipped his Godspeed costume so she could trust him easier. Wow, Frankie said in amazement. Wanna go for a run? Naruto asked her as he could see the childlike excitement in her eyes. Yeah, Frankie said as she jumped up and down in excitement. 1 hour later. Did you have fun? Naruto asked her as he brought her to the lab. Yeah, that was awesome, Frankie said as she talked loudly. Who's this little person? Cisco asked, waving at her. Frankie slightly backed up against Naruto. He's fine, a little weird but fine, Naruto said to her. He's vibe, he said to her, making her look at him in awe. What happened to not spilling our SHT? Cisco asked as Naruto gave Frankie a look and her eyes became purple for a moment. She like Caitlyn? He asked Naruto. You have someone like me? Frankie asked him in surprise. Yeah, Frost has a similar type of deal as you. She is Caitlyn Snow and Frost. Suddenly they heard a scream that sounded like Hey Lin. Someone found Man-Bat's cell, Cisco said as Caitlyn filled him in on that meta from Earth 2.5 that showed while they were gone. I'll deal with that later, let's focus on her right now, Naruto said as he gave Frankie some much needed attention. Here, we kept some footage of Caitlyn and Frost, they wanted to do a thing in case they met someone like them here, he said as he brought her to a computer. Okay, Frankie said as she sat down to watch it. Now show me this bat, Naruto said to Cisco. Also, how's Reverb? He asked as the two lived together. A little shook up and his brother showed up. Rupture, Cisco said as Rupture came here to kill him and Dante as he was told Reverb was dead. Does Dante know about us? Naruto asked him. No, he doesn't, we're good, Cisco said to him. For now, Naruto said as Cisco took him to the pipeline to show him Man-Bat. Few minutes later. How the hell does he fit in there? Naruto asked as the man was 3 times the size of a regular man and the wings didn't help. Cisco just shrugged as he didn't know. Harry said his name is Kirk Langstrom, he said as the man apparently tried to kill a lot of people from what Caitlin told him. How'd they catch him? Naruto asked him curiously. A expert on bats named Francine Lee, with her help they took him down like that, Cisco said as he snapped his fingers. Hello, the man-bat said, surprising them. Fascinating, using the proton cavities as containment cells, as the barrier is powered by a 8.3 Tesla superconducting electromagnet, which is about 100,000 times the strength of Earth's magnetic field, he said to them. You're not just some normal bat monster, are you? Naruto said as the man seemed to be somewhat in control and following his bat-like instincts to feed. Now we're approaching the same page, man-bat said. Caitlin said they removed some kind of collar off of him that was injecting him with something, Cisco said. Must be some kinda DRG that furthers the mutation or makes him more predatory, Naruto said to him. It suppressed my mind and made me more bat than man, Dr. Kirk Langstrom at your service. Kirk said to them. What were you doing on your Earth? Naruto asked him, genuinely curious as this man sounded like a brilliant scientist. Studying gene splicing, trying to find a way to isolate a specific feature of an animal to give to people, like helping those who have lost limbs gain the ability to grow them back like a lizard. You helped me from making the gene splicing experiments into something that would make animal hybrids of people, but Zoom took me and overdosed me with bat DNA before killing my wife, Kirk said to them, telling them his story. Well, the you here is dead. Wouldn't be too hard to change something so you can slip in here, Naruto said to him. Like how I am, I'm stuck as this animal, Kirk said sadly. No, you're not. I've met others like you and developed a serum that can allow you to change back into this if you choose, but you'll be in control, Naruto said as he showed him a vial. You have? Since when? Cisco asked him, surprised as he didn't remember that. Look up Orca aka Tanya Lambden, Naruto said to him. Thank you. Perhaps now I can actually do some good, Kirk said as Naruto opened the cell and he stretched out. Ah, that cell was so small, he said. Sorry, in our defense we didn't know what else could hold you and we didn't think someone like you could fit, Naruto said, wondering if they should make bigger cells for people like King Shark. We got the Batman now, it has the man bat, Cisco said as Kirk drank the serum before he began to turn back to his human self. A second chance with a new life on a new world, Kirk said as he would never get a second chance in his world. We can set you up in Gotham, Naruto said as this would mess with Bruce. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 11. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author pyrohelixdrago on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.